The relations in my wife's family, Emma, had always been strange to me, inexplicably hostile. I didn't know the reasons for such disgusting family relationships, and frankly, I wasn't particularly interested. But every visit of my mother-in-law, Patricia, to our house was a serious trial for both Emma and me. Whatever Emma did, everything was harshly criticized. Occasionally, Patricia would praise something like the dinner she had prepared, but even in those words of approval, I always heard an unpleasant undertone. On one of those visits, Patricia threw Emma a look of the most burning hatred, and it was imprinted on my memory as if my brain had stored a snapshot of the event. Interestingly enough, Patricia had always been even-tempered with me, even friendly in some ways. We could discuss the minor news of our town quite nicely, and she often smiled during our conversations. Emma, on the other hand, looked disgruntled and looked away, nudging me as if she were uncomfortable. As I said, their family had a very strange and wildly strained relationship. Patricia was an attractive woman, despite her age. If she and Emma stood next to each other, they were often mistaken socially not for mother and daughter, but for sisters. She groomed herself, constantly updating her appearance, and didn't seem to need anyone's approval. One day, Emma couldn't take the pressure and decided to spend the night at a friend's house, leaving me alone in the apartment with Patricia. I didn't tense up because Patricia and I had a warm and friendly relationship. We sat down to dinner, and I began to notice her casting attentive glances at me. When I looked up from my plate, I caught her flirtatious smile. "So, David, aren't you tired of my daughter yet?" she asked unexpectedly. I almost choked on my food. "No, of course not, Patricia." She pursed her lips and added in passing, "She's very unlucky. I'm afraid you may end up leaving her." I was adamant. "Until you do better, you will stay with your family, not with some young girl." With those words, Patricia rose from her chair and walked over to me, her hand with its sharp nails resting on my shoulder. I objected, but Patricia said we couldn't do that, and yet we could find out. Finally, she convinced me. Patricia had been waiting for this moment and immediately sat on my lap.